Lynx in the rush hour bot lane.
Uh-huh.
It is going to be going up against that Lucian and the Thresh, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Sneaky will do as Sneaky does. They're going to stand it out, and he's going to dance in mid.
Talking about the bottom lane, again, no surprise that it is dual Doran starts for them, but you can see that Lemonation has at least gone a little bit into utility here, getting the biscuits. And Annie didn't start with the Doran shield. It's the more aggressive Doran's ring start, so it'll do more damage, but if he does get caught by a nice hook from Lemonation, then he's still fairly squishy.
Now, what kind of champion is, Cassiopeia going to bring to this? Can she be hit early and still come around in late game?
So what kind of champion she is easily tilted. Her lane is easily tilted by jungler influence.
Okay.
If Meteos is able to come around, what you usually like to do on Elise when you're ganking the mid lane is come around one of these walls here to get off a cocoon from the Fog of War. Because your cocoon can get all the way to the center of that mid lane. It's one of the favorite ganking spots of Elise players. So if Hotshot does get caught by one of those cocoons, it'll be really easy for Hai to capitalize on that and just immediately jump on her with Zed. It's her being so squishy, Hotshot can probably get away, or Hotshot won't be able to get away because he doesn't run Barrier. He's run Ignite, going for the aggressive.
We're going to see the glorious 2v2 matchup, so we are going to get to see who is top dog within these two teams. We'll focus a little bit on Cloud9's warding as we go into the game, because Sneaky and Lemonation like the pressure quite a bit and gets them in trouble, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Exactly. Talking about the pressure, the duo lane for Cloud9 have started in lane. They're already shoving it so they can get the early level 2. There's not going to be that opportunity for CLG. Since they decided to help their jungler Link, they want to get him a good pull. He's a little bit new in the jungle. And here's the aggression already.
Wow, Afromu down to 300 HP. The Ignite goes down, and Lemonation will not deter from that battle. He's actually going 2v1 now. Looks like he brought a shield to the party.
Yeah, Lemonation doing a good job there, soloing up the Afro. But the Ignite burned already at level 1, so not that much damage coming from it. And Afro still holding on to his summoners.
That was one of those click it, and Sneaky decided to stay back. They also said that sometimes they focus different people on accident, and I think that was a little case of that. Sneaky would have taken a bit of damage walking through, but we were just talking about it. They are going to try to stay as aggressive as possible. And with the wards down already, they really can't even place more, so they're sitting blind right now.
Yeah, it was a great trade for Cloud9 to get the early step in Illusion lane is huge, because he can easily roll the first minion wave advantage into the next couple of minutes of advantage. So it's going to be up to Afromu and Double Lift to try and CS until they can get something from Link. If Link comes in and Afro will set it up with a stun, then that will be the turning point. But until then, they have to play defensive.
Very nice max range grab there. Double Lift and Afromu able to poke back a bit, but you can see they are on their heels right now, and this is exactly where Cloud9 wants them.
You know what else is going to be really important in this game? Since we were talking about Cassiopeia, the blue buff control for CLG is going to be really important. I mean, for Cloud9, it's the normal amount of importance, I guess, because Meteos does love to have blue buff on that at least, and even Hai would love it on Zed just for the cooldown reduction and energy, but it's super crucial for Cassiopeia. If she gets blue buff, she can spam out her Q, poison, and not even lose mana. Because of the passive that reduces the mana cost, she can just keep that up constantly.
And there they are, coming exactly from the spot you said before, right behind next to that turret. Ooh, again in the bottom lane, down to 300, 600 combined health between these two. He splits the uprights with the death sentence. They're not going to go for it.
I have to say that was a really good job by Hotshot. He was thinking the exact same thing, knew that Meteos was going to head mid, come for that Fog of War cocoon. He wards one side and charges the other. Link waiting for this counter.
Great use of the volatile spider there by Meteos. Just a quality play.
No flash.
Hotshot very low. It's going to be 100 HP. He goes in for the flash kill, and he comes out easy. The vision in the bottom lane allowed Hai to get that aggression in.
Well, Meteos using his flash to burn Hotshot's flash, meaning there was no defensive summoner. Since, again, Hotshot had gone with Ignite. He had so much confidence that he was going to be able to get a kill. He did not go Barrier and pays for it with his life.
Whoa! They are putting a lot into this one. The flash already went down. Link is going to go down. The red buff gets transferred over. The Ignite is there. They drop Double Lift. He keeps himself alive. Hai gets out of this one, and Meteos gets a refresh.
So that last gank there from Link, he goes for the flash then Vault Breaker, which is an easier move than the Vault Breaker than Flash. Okay, let's talk about the bottom one then since we're showing this. Sneaky does get stunned up here, and they combo it.
Sniper.
Beautiful play right there, because I thought they were going to be on the defensive for the first couple minutes, but they turned it around with a very nice stun combo. This is not the live patch. This is before the activation of the Flame Chompers was increased.
Right.
At this point, you know, anti-stun more than long enough to get off those Flame Chompers.
That was really quick adaptation by all the lanes. As soon as they saw the junglers weren't there in each instance, they took advantage to get kills.
Right. And, oh yeah, talking about the junglers, I was going to say, since Link is sort of new to the jungle, yes, very new to the jungle, he hasn't had that many games on Vi, and even people who have played Vi for a very long time don't have the confidence to do the Vault Breaker cast and then flash at the end, because you'll lose a little bit of distance, and a lot of people just go with the flash and then Vault Breaker because it's very fast too, but he barely missed that one. So Hai was able to get out, as you saw, with maybe under 50 HP.
Medio's going for pretty hefty damage as he goes Sork Boots first before even getting the stone in. Pretty aggressive by these guys.
Level
they want to
6,
get their
level
kills.
6.
There it is onto Hotshot. I don't know if he's going to have the full damage necessary. His Ignite is down, but he's going to want him out of lane anyways.
Talked about him being super squishy, and since he has not been able to buy the parts for his arm guard yet, he doesn't have the extra armor, and he has to try and CS with his long-range poisons.
Oh!
Very, very
word!
Deep dive by Hai, though, so that'll probably be able to answer
No
the
assist?
Kill. Wow,
no, he gets executed. An amazing play there by Hai, keeping himself out of range. Maybe he thought Link had the damage. Meteos in the bottom lane goes for the repel, loses out on the turret aggro, which is what he wanted, and finds some minions in the back line, and somehow they walk out of here with about 400 HP.
Oh, I need to go back and check if the cooldown was up for Link's E there to extend the range of his auto attack barely, but man, that was so close to touching Hai, and Hotshot didn't actually not get off any damage before he went down, so everyone's surprised right there. Experience is gained, but not the gold. All right, so let's take another look at it.
Two of these Qs is
He goes in for the harass. He sees Link.
Oh my gosh.
At the moment he sees Link, he decides to go for the kill. Oh, he did have it activated. Okay, so Link did the right thing. Okay, I was going to say. Really good job by Link. He wanted to get that extra range for his auto attack, but even that wasn't quite enough.
Just why can't I punch my own minions?
Close. Yeah, exactly. That would work.
So we got about a 2,000 gold lead now, cresting in favor of Cloud9. See Nien doing a good bit counter jungling there. The blue buff not as important for Cloud9, but we were talking about that for CLG, so we'll have to make sure they get that here as we get into the game.
The top lane we haven't talked about for a while, but it's because, you know, it's that classic matchup. A lot of people very familiar with this matchup by now, so probably don't have to go over that one too much. Mundo does have the advantage, though, since his teleport's still up. He hasn't had to use it. Shyvana hasn't actually been able to make anything happen early. Sometimes she can get a nice little bit of early CS lead, since Mundo plays a bit more defensive, but they're just tied up.
Looks like, as you said, Nien going for his Blade of the Rune King build to start. Is that going to keep him split pushing, or is he going to want to be fighting and peeling late?
You know, if the Blade of the Rune King is completed, then it gives him a much better chance of killing Mundo.
Right.
And it gives him a lot more threat there. So he can pressure that Mundo and try and keep him from being able to use his teleport. Nien, like Shyvana, or on Shyvana, always has the option of interrupting his teleport with the Dragon's Descent.
Ward sitting just in front of elimination may thwart this attempt, but Cloud9 goes very hard when they try to go for a gank. We've heard Meteos say that he does not approach a lane unless he thinks there is a good chance it is going to work. Alphamu looks like they want aggression on this, and they've actually read it like a book. Link comes in from the other side, but is there enough help on Doublelift to make it work? He is going to fall first. Elimination almost just getting out, and Tibbers is going to take a swing and scratch him down to size. We got a few more kills coming out, 2-1 in the end.
And Balls is not near Nien. No interruption on the teleport, so they can easily rotate after the gank down bottom, the successful 2 kills, into the objective. Grab the dragon. They have not only Elise, who's amazing at early dragons with all percentage damage, but they've got the Mundo with the cleavers and the ability to tank it.
Even more gold here coming in for Cloud9, and they really just have a consistent income, whether it's from kills, what they're trying to take in dragons, or in the farm lanes. We're seeing 70 to 62, 82 to 84 kept nice in the top lane, but 67 to 51 as well, and there's not a Targon's in that bottom lane.
I think the biggest CS discrepancy may be between the junglers, and that's due to the ganks that Meteos has been pulling off. He's been going much more aggressive, as you would expect in the early game of Elise versus the early game of Vi here. Link's been doing a good job, though. He hasn't been wasting the time. He's at least been farming very hard. A lot of those are actually lane CS because he does come to lane at sort of after someone's dead.
Right.
We've seen it a couple times now. And Hotshot definitely feeling that pressure mid lane with the kill potential of Zed.
There's still kill potential in our bottom lane duo here that we were talking about before. Lemonation still has Ignite up. Afromoose is down along with Tibbers. So with CLG being pushed up so much, they may try something in this bottom lane. We said that's one that's going to have to win for these guys.
And I like these really, really deep wards of Cloud9. They saw this Vi rotation, so they're calling for Zed to come down the river and counter-ganking it.
A good flash there, but in the bottom lane, it does look like Lemonation and Team want to fight. Afromoo over the shoulder, or rather double lift over the shoulder of Afromoo, and they leave Link to go down valiantly. High trying to come down and get a little bit of part of the fight, but it looks like he is just on the roam. Hotshot can't do much in mid, so High's roam is really working.
Yeah, High has the ability to roam at will now because he's the one with the assassination potential, whereas Hotshot heading up top and Sneaky takes it stun!
Oh, Sneaky from the side of CLG. There's the teleport coming in, or teleport going back, I should say, from Balls. He's going to walk right into Hotshot GG.
He's waiting at the cooldown.
Trying to get Hotshot back in. Oh, the Fane goes out, but he wasn't poisoned. That kind of kills the cooldown, and it's really going to be harder for the kill to come in, but he gets the auto attack from the snakes, throwing snakes.
So we had the roam down bottom from High, from Zed. He was the one who got to choose where he wanted to roam first because he was ahead. Now he takes some hits from Link here on the turret. Guess he's not worried about it. He was the one who got to choose where he roamed first, but since the CLG got a kill down bottom anyway, it wasn't that big of a deal. Hotshot, meanwhile, was able to shove the wave since High left and then head up top to turn around the brawl of those two top lanes.
So the one turret now down for CLG. Should be working in their favor if they can start to move and transition a little bit better. That's what we said was really their strength in their last game, to transition as a team. It wasn't so much the mechanics.
Right, and it seems like they definitely are more on the back foot this game. Like I said, High is the one making the initial rotation down bottom, and then Hotshot's just trying to answer, left with only the option for going top. It did work out, though, so it was a good move by him to shove that wave in and answer with another kill. They're still down from that objective, though, since the Mundo used his teleport to grab Dragon.
Still waiting to see how this bottom lane pans out. 3 kills for Double Lift, 2 kills for Sneaky. They're somewhat matched in damage, but the Bloodthirsts are not building up for Sneaky just yet, and this is really CLG on the aggression here. They figured out last fight was in their favor. Sneaky eats a rocket to the face, like you said. Very nice.
Afro is getting so close for that stun, but because all the damage from the rocket execute was blocked by Sneaky, they didn't want to overextend. There's just so much good pink ward coverage from Cloud9 in the bottom that CLG have to be very careful about overextending down there because they've been counter-ganked twice by Meteos in the bottom lane.
Well, we thought it would have been Hotshot, right? They focus Hotshot in a ton of bans, but they leave him up to just play on Cassiopeia. It's only been really High that's trying to put the pressure on him.
So yeah, they got the early kills on him.
Right.
Meteos definitely had the early plan that we talked about where he comes in with the leads from the side for the cocoon, and that got High the initial lead. But Hotshot, it's good that you mentioned him again. He stayed in this. His CS has not suffered as much as you might think in a lane where there's so much kill potential for Zed, because she can CS from afar with the poison. Hotshot really, the only thing that he's been suffering is that High gets the roam first, and he has to answer.
And Link, what is it really the reason that Link just is focusing bottom because Meteos is now that he can't give Hotshot help? Because we said that's a jungler tilted lane when it comes to it.
Well, we talked about in the video, before this, the bottom lane are
hotly
so important for both of these teams that a lot of pressure coming out the stun combo again.
Lemonation, always on the front. Didn't quite get as far as he did out of that one, and it was really just a quick kill. Double Lift is grabbing these up. Actually, that went to Vi.
I think if the live balance team needs an explanation for the balance changes that they gave to Annie and Jinx, then that clip right there is exactly what they'll show. They reduced the stun on Annie, and they increased the timer on the arming timer on those flame chompers.
Right.
So that combo is really hard, a little bit more hard to pull off now. But on this patch, of course, tournament realm, still extremely potent. And that's why the anti-jinx so much of a high priority for CLG.
This is really great for CLG, not something you see them doing as a team, and that's dictating the first 2 towers of the game, and not letting Cloud9 answer.
Hyatt doing a good job here too, because he has that skill potential on Hotshot. There's not a lot of options for Hotshot, and he has to give this ground up.
You can see him quickly putting down a ward. If it's not the vision of the minions, they want the vision with a ward, and that is how they're going to gain more power and keep this snowball going. It's 2,000 gold, so it has been, that gap has been slightly closed by CLG. Everybody just returning to normal lanes as Cloud9 looks and has the timer for this dragon. Looks to make theirs again.
Yeah, it's really easy for them to go for these dragons because they gained that foothold in the center of the map so early. Getting that early game advantage in the mid lane means that Meteos has his choice of what side of the map he wants to influence most, and he obviously chose bottom. So they're able to get a secondary dragon and the turret.
A lot of gold just sitting on the map that they're pulling out right now. Ball's missing the damage on Dragon's Descent and catches. Whoa! Assault battery from outside the grounds, and it looks like Balls will almost go down. He's up to 200 HP again. The twin double bite. Doesn't even need to bite. Just goes for the regular hit on burnout.
So it takes them a bit longer since Nien went with the Sunfire over rushing Blade of the Ruined King, but Link shows up. They're able to get the kill anyway, and it works out all in their favor. They're able to get some turret damage as well.
Really solid having the push be mirrored on both sides here. Counterlogic Gaming doing what they can to get that bottom turret, or I should say bottom of top lane.
Looking for a double.
Ooh, goes in on Link. The death mark's there. That is the kill. He tries to shadow back, and it's not going to be anybody there for him.
Nien's going to leave the scene of the crime. He's going to escape with his life. Well, maybe not. Yeah, he got it.
He's a dragon. He's fine. But he is going to meet a spider here in a second. I don't know if this is very good for a dragon. A dragon that's on fire and a spider. We're going to see what happens. The ward goes down.
Meteos has level 2
burnout.
boots.
Oh, as soon as he cut the angle and like got that fog of war, burnout. He was out, peeling the tires.
I was going to say Meteos has level 2 boots, but burnout way too fast. Another good stun from Aphromoo. And
Lemon Nation first.
Double Lift misses the choppers on that one, but he hits the ultimate. So damage over stun is going to take that one.
It does seem like there's a bit more miscommunication with the C9 bot lane. Lemon Nation has been kind of going in on hooks that I remember Chaucer was doing a lot. He usually just kill himself, and then he came around with it and it became so much better. But usually you see Lemon Nation being very methodical, figuring out where to go, and the team's been like 900 range behind him on these hooks.
It's always dangerous when you start getting really far ahead of your team with your initiates. But he's landed some pretty good ones as well, and some really nice lanterns. By the way, up at the top one, he had a lantern that they were able to burn Double Lift's flash when he lanterned over Meteos.
Right.
So, you know, he's had some really good lanterns, and I think it's good that they do have the confidence to click them sometimes, even when he is deep.
Let's take a look at the builds. The Spirit Visage trying to come out onto Mundo. We're still looking actually for a piece together here build. We thought Blade of the Ruined King quite quick for Nien, but it looks like he starts a Spirit Visage of his own here.
Now, as usual, the big threat for CLG is Double Lift. They've got the 4 of the kills on him.
Feed the striker.
He's on, yeah, exactly. He's on the high scaling Jinx, which is one of his favorite champions. So their end game, they're feeling pretty confident, even though they know that they are behind some dragons right now. They're tied up in kills, and they're happy to let this game go a little bit longer. Nien, maybe not that happy. He does get away. So close. Run, dragon, run.
He's been making it out quite easy of those engagements. However, that was really the first time he used Dragon's Descent to get out. Usually he's been going at balls with that one. So you can see that, you know, 1v1 kind of turning.
All right, so we're talking about CLG looking towards the end game, as they often do. They're happy because their carry is fed, and they have tons of crowd control from their other sources here. Hotshot is building a bit tanky as far as stacking health is concerned, because he's got the Haunting Guys, plus he's going to build into a Rylai's, which makes Cassiopeia's poison turn her slows into AoE slows, or turn her poisons into AoE slows, and he will create a nice battlefield for Double Lift to easily maneuver around.
Trying to get high into the split push here. We have balls coming out of the base. Everybody's about to meet up in middle, see what they can plan on a mid attack for the turret. 3-3 in turrets is Cloud9 really wasn't worried when they were losing all those turrets. It seemed they took the dragon and then boom, 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 the turrets fell after. It was just what they had in mind for the time of the game. So it looks like CLG wasn't really ready for that, and it's kind of slowed down on both sides now.
It has slowed down a little bit, and it looks like they will just return to the age-old Zed split push.
Yeah, right.
Hai's going to need some more wards, though. It's very dangerous for him to split push against this team because there is a Vi on it. Usually, Zed, very slippery, can escape against most people. Link, though, on that Vi, can track him down, and they can pull kills on these stray lane split pushers here, where Cloud9 are actually going with 2 split pushers since Mundo's the one with teleport, but Hai is the one that's sort of fed on the Zed.
So until Cloud9, well, it might be right now, really starts to group, it might favor CLG. Hotshot's falling behind 40 CS now, is starting to affect him. It doesn't seem like the mid lane is really what he's been doing for the past season. So his roam has been non-existent. As you said, Hai, been all over the place, and he's really making an impact at 3-1.
Right, so what Hotshot's doing now is just trying to hold the mid lane. CLG are trying to farm up a bit before they go for their next engage, because they're definitely feeling the early pain from Cloud9 here. But they have confidence in their composition when it does come together. Hotshot, what he does bring to the table is amazing counter engage. Cassiopeia is one of the best when the C9 team will be charging them. If he can get them facing, then he'll get his stun on the Petrifying Gaze, and Afromu can follow it up with his second area of effect stun. So 2 area of effect stuns plus a Fed 80 carry is a good recipe for winning team fights later.
Super excited to see it. I remember it was all the way back at All-Stars they questioned which champion do you want to see, and I was like Cassiopeia. So I've been waiting this long. It better be good.
Now this is very dangerous for CLG. They know that the dragon is up, but going to face check it there, even though they were super late and there was nobody left, it's a real dangerous move because they were running down vision of that Cloud9 already had, and they could have been walking into a trap there. Dragon already taken by Cloud9, another extra global gold lead for them, and CLG is also out of position now.
Yeah.
Since they rotated down to the dragon, not only do they give up dragon, but they're also giving up damage on the turret.
Not enough words for CLG around here, and Cloud9 knows the position they can take. It's going to be a back
Dunk combo.
deep dunk by Link, and he goes in. Can he get the kill coming out onto Hai? They do shut him down. He does not get to use Deathmark within this fight as it was still down. The Inferno rocket hits. Very nice job by Doublelift, and it looks like they're going to keep going on to Sneaky here. The repel went out to Wraiths coming in from Meteos. They look safe, but the pursuit is on from CLG.
What a great combo there from Afromu, starting this thing off with a flash engage. Tibbers stunning him up in time for Link to come in with the ultimates. That was the target that they wanted. They took out Hai from before the fight started, and there won't even be an answer from Cloud9.
This is big for Counterlogic Gaming, answering quickly in the mid lane with 2 turrets. They open up exactly what they need to on the map, and now maybe they'll get some of those wards in we were just talking about.
So here's the flash initiate from Afro I was talking about. Hai is the priority target, so Link uses the full Vault Breaker to gain distance, and then just gets in range for his Assault and Battery. With Nien coming down from the top lane, perfect job collapsing onto the C9 team that thought that they had the advantage on this mid-turret damage because CLG were a little bit out of position outside their base. It just turned into a flanking opportunity, though, for CLG. So they were able to turn it in their favor, answer with the gold, now even.
Yeah, coming out of that replay, the gold was 38-4 apiece. And only these little jungle camps is what's really giving us a discrepancy right now. 3-5 in turrets. CLG with that big 2 push in mid can definitely make that an inhibitor turret. They can get another fight like that. And it wasn't too bad of a fight. They were initially out of position and made it work for themselves.
Yeah, right. What I was talking about in the Champion Select with the Cloud9 team lacking really strong hard engage means that in the late game here, they have to rely on the map movements of the teleport Mundo and catching people out with their very strong assassin Zed. So if they aren't able to do that, where they were cornered in that mid lane, CLG, they're the ones with the double AoE stuns and then the single target Vi to pick off the priority target. They really do have the upper hand in the later game teamfights where crowd control means everything.
Vision right now more than ever is CLG's friend, using that Fog of War to get their initiations in for pretty much the whole team. And they didn't even really have to use hot shots kind of counter-initiate there as well. So we still have something to see from them.
That was one piece that was missing. Like the only thing about Cassiopeia's ult, it's not going to stun when your opponents are running away,
Yeah.
so it's not a good chasing tool. And she'll just sort of decide to put out damage in those situations instead, because laying down the poisons does give her that speed boost that we talked about. And with the Rylai's coming in, they'll also be able to slow them down.
And it's hard, too, to fight as Cassiopeia. Like you said, the mechanics. You miss a poison and you feel almost useless, because you try to use Fang if you miss poison, and you're like, all right, I wait 4 seconds before I really help anybody. So we'll see if Hotshot can get these mechanics down. He's 1, 2, and 2, sticking with that CS as much as possible. Like we said, he wasn't able to roam earlier, and Hai has really been enabling his team along with Meteos, both of them. 3 kills on the match, and the team's behind them right now to keep it going.
The reason that the match is going this way right now is because, like we talked about, CLG are the ones who have the hard initiation in their hands. So whenever they run into this C9 team, C9 split, and you can see them scatter. What they're looking for, oh wow, the split push is working. What they're looking for, though, is to bait out the area of effect stuns from CLG on just one person. So that's why everybody just immediately splits as soon as they see them. Trying to buy time for the split push right now is really working, because CLG are not making the decisive call.
It's good damage back and forth just between Link and Balls here. You can see in the pip, a lot of damage, and that inhibitor turret will go down. Cloud9 grabs a huge movement here on the bottom lane, and it looks like CLG will start to revert. They're going to try to force it down middle. Nien tries to go in. The HP bars looks like it's going to be in favor of Nien, but Hai playing it well, and he has the damage to take out Nien almost. More fighting in the mid lane, and it looks like CLG actually can't get out of this one. Balls just kind of keeps them all huddled in together as they try to take him out. The fight continues in favor of Cloud9, and who would have thought that CLG would stick around for this?
Well, that was a classic example of the split push strategy outplaying the team fight AoE CC strategy. Really well played by Cloud9. I said that they didn't want to team fight the CLG because of those stuns, and they really just pulled it off right there, buying time for Hai to get that turret, and then also he was able to fight Nien back into his own fountain.
With 4, that was kind of risky to keep fighting that with 4.
So this is where Hai is able to fight Nien into his back fountain. It's because he's waiting for his energy right now. He can finish up this inhibitor, and then he goes for the burst on Nien. Gets him pretty low, but he's not able to survive, so never mind about that fighting him back into the fountain. He just respawned.
He went down. He went down in the
kidding.
flurry of other kills.
Yeah.
So looking now even more at Hotshot's build, the Rylai's is an orthodox item for a Cassiopeia to get, but they're even more trying to enable Hotshot, feed him the ball as much as possible. They're kind of putting all their eggs in one basket too much.
All right, so much happened in that last split push that I got confused and it was wrong. All right, so Hive did get his inhibitor, but he went down in the end.
Right.
However, CLG, the initiate that they decided to do after Nien left, the 4 versus 4 initiate, was the questionable move, because 4 versus 4, they weren't able to pull off the AoE stun.
No.
They overcommitted there, and Meteos did land a Scoopune, so the 1 CC there for C9 did make it count.
Whew. The damage of that fight before was kind of odd too, because you have Balls taking damage and Link. Link doesn't have an ultimate that's going to heal him up. So they really started to lose just the beginning of that fight. But 12-12 now, as they are doing what they can. They have to be, or not have to be, but they're kind of forcing themselves into these instances of engagement. We'll see if CLG can finally get that counter engage. It kind of plays into what they've always done. They sit back until they get the fight. So we're going to see them in their base at some point for the next 15 minutes. And that's what they need.
Yeah, CLG, now that they sort of lost the crucial mid-game point where they have the advantage of the team fight, but Cloud9 have the advantage in split push, and they make the slightly misstep there around the Baron area. Did definitely cost them, and they'll have to play defensively now. But wow, that was just such high-level team fight versus split push play right there. It was pretty much the classic matchup, and just a little bit of a misstep by the 4-man team that was around Baron.
Oh, Hai going in deep. He tries to use the ultimate, but it hits the back of Hai, and it looks like Hotshot now will be dove on. Not too much crowd control. Aframu has the stun ready in just a few, but he is holding it even more to help for the rest of the team. Nien is going to be the one to go down. Cloud9 does find one, but they were going deep for that, and the turret wasn't even there in their eyes.
And this is why so many people talk about the team play of Cloud9. They were so composed during that Baron standoff, and then they were also very committed to this dive here in the middle that this is probably going to be the end of the game.
And once again, an amazing game by Cloud9, coming in very strong. A 30-minute game possibly here as they take down the rest of Counterlogic Gaming outside their base. At least the first pick going into the hands of Meteos at 7-0-5 this game. Other teams definitely going to take notice of that. The Nexus is going to fall. Cloud9 stays undefeated in the spring split of 2014.
Oh, can they get double too?
Oh dear.
That KDA.
Once again, bringing out a little bit of versatility. New champions around the map. Nothing super new to see, but they didn't use the same.
It wasn't anything new. This was actually something very old. This was what was so popular during Season 3.
Right.
All these teams were defeating area of effect team fighting compositions with split pushing. That's exactly what Cloud9 went back to, and they pulled it off really well, even if I wasn't able to keep track of what was
Great mention, though, in the early game on the blue buff, the help that went to Link, maybe for being a new jungler, maybe because he wanted a little bit more help to get to top lane. But as you said, as we mentioned, the aggression that Lemon Nation and Sneaky put out more than they used to gave them the first push and the fast level, too, and they really worked that lane well with Meteos.
Definitely impressed with the coordination there from Cloud9.
We know
around the Baron, like CLG had the upper hand for all that the mid fighting. And you can see when they ran at Cloud9, they separated just enough not to get caught.
Right.
It's something in solo queue where you're like, okay, I'm going to split push, don't get caught, guys. Someone always gets caught. Cloud9, this is not solo queue. They were able to play that so well and keep in range of Baron that they put CLG into a hot spot where their comms, I really want to get a listen into their comms, their voice comms, during that situation where the split push was going on, because that's when it's most crucial.
Well, it has to be hectic, because one of our main points coming in here was that Hotshot, GG, and team were able to roam as a unit, right? And then he was on Cassiopeia this game, which no roaming for the rest of the team. Nobody got help. Nobody had any assistance for whatever was happening in lane. But High was, and so was Meteos. So that just escalated the punishment even more.
Getting that early flash burned on Hotshot and then High turning
really
it into a kill definitely dictated the early game, because mid lane is such a swingy position for the junglers then to exert their will.
And you can't say that CLG didn't do good as well, especially in the early game. They got that kill. As soon as they killed Hotshot in the middle, Double Lift and Aframu said, we got to take matters into our own hands. And they started picking up a few back and forth kills. But overall, Cloud9 just stops that at some point. Doesn't let you get the comeback.
A really good answer, chaining those CCs.
Yeah, they did. We got to take we got to go AFK for a quick break. But when we come back, Freak and Jat are joined by Cloud9's Meteos. Then Dignitas will take on Team Solo Mid. The 2014 NALCS Spring Split continues after this.
Yo, just killing.
I'm taking a hip,
Yo, keep going. I got come shot in 7. Double lift, double. Afro.
Coming.
Yo, Baron.
Hot shot. Careful.
Finish him.
Deshaun, I got him. I'll kill him.
Fuck.
I got the inhib though. I got an hip.
Oh,
Yo,
in 29.
we can Baron.
You guys can Baron. Get him.
Yo, Muna going.
Muna, go.
Yo, don't stack.
Kill Hotshot. No. Turn.
Nia's getting shit on. Yo,
Sneaky.
sneaking on turret. Oh, Nia.
Kill Nia. Someone take turret.
Alright. I don't think we should have baited Baron at all.
Yeah. We need to